So let us look at disaster management for today. So consider the following phase. At Summit 1993, Rio de Janeiro. So, when it comes to, all these Montreal Protocol, Kyoto Protocol, etc., all those are very important. UNFCC. We'll mostly look in SNT. So, for mains point of view, it is very important. Even in current affairs, also in geography, also you can say all these things are in general important. So, Earth Summit 1993, Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Okay, that is very important. One of the starting what is it, 1993. So, one of the early summits and World Conference on Disaster Management 1994, Yokohama. Okay. National Institute of Disaster Management. So let us see where that is. National Institute of Disaster. National Institute of Disaster Management. Okay. National Institute of Disaster Management, Ministry of Home Affairs. Remember that also, which is, it is important. And they have a resilient India, disaster-free India. So disaster management in general is a very important topic from SNT point of view also, and it's in Delhi. Remember that. Okay, National Institute of Disaster Management is in New Delhi. So some of these institutes, organizations, etc. That is also very important. For example, NIOT, National Institute of Ocean Technology. That main headquarters is in Goa, and in Andhra we have Nellore. Okay, remember that. There are so many institutions which we have to. There are many tables also. So one is sorry, not Goa, Chennai. Sorry, Chennai. One is in Chennai, and in Andhra it is in Nellore, not Goa. Please correct that. It is Chennai. Okay. National Institute of Ocean Technology was established in 1993, etc., etc. Chennai is the headquarter. Okay. Okay. Chennai, Tamil Nadu, etc., etc. In Andhra Pradesh, one of the center is there in Nellore. Try to remember that. Anyway, try to remember this also. World Conference on Disaster Management, Yokohama, 1994. And also you have to remember some of the major disasters. Okay, major disasters like in India we have Bhuj earthquake, Hudud cyclone, and all the recent cyclones. Not all the cyclones, but recent 1 or 2 years, and also some of the major disasters. World disasters also you have what is this? Chernobyl nuclear disaster, and Fujiyama reactor, all those. So in Japan, so tsunamis, all those things, major disasters you have to try to remember. So consider the following statements. Natural hazards are elements of circumstances in the natural environment that have the potential to cause harm to people, property, or both. Okay, that is what is the natural hazard, which occurs naturally in the environment and can cause harm to people. So natural disasters are relatively sudden and cause large scale, widespread death, loss of property, disturbance of social system, everything. So basically example is a earthquake or a tsunami or anything. Okay, it is sudden and it causes large scale what is the disturbance. So that is the definition of natural disaster, and natural hazard is something which happen it's in the natural environment that can harm the people or property. Okay, hazard means it can do, so it may happen in the future also. But disaster means it has happened, it is happening. So, false statement among the following. So, try to remember the other three. World Conference on Disaster Management 1994. It is subsequently called the Yokohama Strategy and Plan of Action for a Safer World, which we have already seen. Okay, 1995 and 1994 World Conference on Disaster Management. And the issue of this is wrong. Okay, forget it. The tropical cyclone of 1971 in India is the deadliest one till date. Let us see if there is a name for that. 1971 tropical cyclone. So the 1971 Odisha cyclone was a devastating tropical cyclone that struck Odisha. So remember that. 1971 Odisha cyclone is one of the deadliest cyclone. And also in 2014, right, we have Hudud cyclone that caused severe destruction in Andhra Pradesh, etc., Orissa, Andhra Pradesh. And unscientific land use and construction activities in fragile areas are some of the disasters that are result of indirect human actions. So recently we can see the Joshimath issue, okay, in Joshimath in Uttarakhand. Currently it is in Nos, so very important. Okay, Joshimath in Uttarakhand. So it is facing what is called as land subsidence. Okay, land subsidence. That means cracks all over the city. The land is basically sinking. So the layer beneath the city is sinking. So the upper layer is falling down, and you can see cracks have developed all over the town, not just one place, everywhere. All over the town, cracks have developed. So it is recently in news. So very important. Okay, exact reason is what you say unplanned construction, overpopulation, etc. And there is a dam nearby. That is also very important. Vishnu Tapogad Dam. Okay, Vishnu Tapogad. Where is that? That is the particular dam, and there is NTPC tunneling also nearby. Vishnu Tapogad, Tapovan. Sorry, Tapovan Vishnugad project is happening. That is the that is being shown as one of the reason, and also because of the it's in a hilly area and too much unplanned construction. Not Tapogad, it is Tapovan. Okay, Tapovan. Okay, it is one of the reason behind the National Thermal Power Corporation's Tapovan Vishnugad hydropower project. Okay, that is also one of the reason. I mean, they are saying it is not linked, but recently we have seen that is also is being cited as one of the reason for the Joshimath issue. So all that is very important. Try to remember these points. So with reference to the classification of natural disasters, consider the following statements. Broadly, natural disasters can be classified under four categories: atmospheric, terrestrial, aquatic, and biological. So that is fine. You can remember those things. Four classifications. Bird flu, dengue are example of aquatic disaster. So you can clearly say aquatic means something that happens in the sea, so tsunamis, etc. So bird flu and dengue are definitely not aquatic. They are, you can say, biological or yeah, mostly biological. So India has experienced all the four kind of natural disasters. Yes, somewhere or the other, some other disaster would be there. We recently had COVID, and cyclones are always there. Earthquakes are there. Tsunami has happened. They are believed 2004, right? That tsunami. Anyway, so let us see. That is also important. When the tsunami in India, 2004 only, right? Yeah, 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami is also one of the major, what you said, the natural disaster in India. Also, the Bhuj earthquake in Gujarat, etc., etc. All those things you have to remember. And 1971 Odisha cyclone we've seen just now. So, tropical cyclones are intense, low pressure areas confined to the area lying between 30 degree north and 30 degrees south of the equator. So, uh, we've seen that what is it, tropical cyclones. uh, Let us see. Okay, so if you look at this, tropical cyclones usually, okay. So, if you look at the equator, fine. Let us look at something else. Let us look at some other picture. So it is very important. So you have the equator and you have the trade winds and the westerlies, okay, horse latitudes, all those things which we have seen. Okay, so look at this. This is the intertropical convergence zone near the equator. Okay. Next you have the trade winds from 0 to 30, 0 to 30. You have the tropical issues. These are also called as trade winds, and here you have the westerlies, polar easterlies, etc. And you have that this is the high pressure region, this is the low pressure region. Equator, the temperature is very high. Where temperature is high, obviously the pressure will be low. It is inversely proportional. So it is low pressure, high pressure. So wind will flow from high pressure to low pressure. Again, in the polar region, subpolar region, the pressure is low. Okay, and it will flow from high pressure to low pressure. Again, in the polar region, the pressure is high because of low temperature, pressure is high. So that will be the direction of the wind from high to low. So you have to remember all these things from high pressure to low pressure, again high pressure to low pressure. So all these things you have to remember. And tropical cyclones usually occur in this zone from 0 to 30 in the north and 0 to 30 in the south. Okay, so all that is very important. So which one of the following, which one among these is not an essential condition for emergence of tropical cyclone? Okay. So strong Coriolis force that can prevent filling of low pressure at the center. Okay, Coriolis force is because of the rotation of the earth. Large and continuous supply of warm and moist air that can release enormous latent heat. Okay, absence of strong vertical wind wedge which disturbs the vertical transport of latent heat. So all these are reasons for emergence of tropical cyclone. So for cyclone to, in order for the cyclone to happen, first you need to have a low pressure area. Okay, somewhere in the ocean, a low pressure develops, and then you have continuous air movement. Okay, large and continuous supply of warm and moist air that can release enormous latent heat. So because of the low pressure in the center and the high pressure all around it, there is going to be a circular motion. Okay, because and once it picks up speed, it turns into a cyclone. And because of the Coriolis force that gets generated of the because of the rotation of the earth. Okay, because of that, a low pressure is created at the center, which is called the eye of the cyclone. Okay, all these are very important. So you have the center, which is the eye, where it is very calm, and surrounding you have a very huge velocity movement of air. And peninsular landmass is not required. Once there is landmass, the power of the cyclone reduces. Once it hits the landmass, slowly the speed of the cyclone will reduce. Okay, so this is not an essential thing. These other, all the three other are very essential. Try to remember them. So the Indian Tsunami Early Warning System Center, established at the Indian National Center for Ocean Information Sciences, is located in Hyderabad. Try to remember that. So we have seen NIOT in Chennai, right? NIOT is in Chennai, and ITEWC is in Hyderabad. Okay, Tsunami Early Warning Center is in Hyderabad. Try to remember that. So with reference to floods, consider the following statements. National Program of Flood Management was launched in 1954. Okay, we'll look into that. Disturbances along the natural drainage channels and colonization of floodplains and riverbeds are some of the human activities that play an important role in increasing intensity of magnitude and gravity of floods. See, what he's saying is, okay, so along the natural drainage channel, that means where the river is flowing, that is the natural drainage channel, and the floodplain, all that area, I mean, where the river is, where the drainage is happening, that is the floodplain, and that whole surrounding area is called river basin. Okay, and river beds is the surface beneath the river. Okay, and because of human activities that play an important role in increasing the intensity and magnitude and gravity of floods. So if there is significant deforestation, soil erosion, etc. on the flood banks, obviously the water is going to seep, and it is going to increase the magnitude and gravity of floods. So any disturbance along the natural channel is going to increase the gravity of floods. So that is fine. Now let us look at National Program of Flood Management. When it was launched, National Program Flood Management. The government of India launched the National Flood Control Program in 1954. Okay, National Flood Control Program in 1954. Long back, it was long back. Flood Commission of India, National Ministry of Agriculture and Irrigation in 1976. Okay, National Flood Commission is in 1976. Flood Control Program is in 1954 and it failed to achieve much success. So, National Program of Flood Management was launched in 1954. So basically it is National Flood Control Program, but that is the National Program of Flood Management also. So both A and B are correct. Okay, don't go with this option. We have crossed it. Both A and B are correct. So Rashtriya Barh Ayog, okay, National Flood Commission identified dash million hectares of land as flood prone in India. So 40 million hectares, but okay, we can't remember all that numbers anyway. So which of these is our flood prevention and mitigation strategy? Obviously, you can see afforestation. So by building, by planting more trees on the both sides of the river, you can reduce the floods. Decongesting river channels, which is also you can say with common sense itself. So depopulating the flood plains. Depopulating the floodplains also, you can control the flood. Again, common statement. Construction of flood protection embankments. That means on both sides of the river, you put these concrete structures. Okay, embankments. Okay, concrete walls, etc. So by doing that, you can prevent the water from flowing onto the nearby areas, nearby river basin. So all these are what you can say flood prevention and mitigation strategies. Which of these is our flood prevention and mitigation strategies? Same, okay. Construction of flood prevention, same question has been repeated twice. So other than boundaries of crustal plates, earthquakes may occur within areas with frequent volcanic activities. Okay. So there is something called as the Pacific Ring of Fire. In this context, you have to remember that also. Pacific Ring of Fire. So if you look at this, this is called the Pacific Ring. This is the Pacific Ocean. Okay. So this is the Pacific Ocean. And here you have North America, South America. Okay, this is Australia. This is Russia, China, etc. So this is called the Pacific Ring of Fire, where there are a lot of active volcanoes. Okay, so there are a lot of active volcanoes, and because of those volcanoes, you have frequent earthquakes in this region. Okay, so frequent volcanic activity may result in frequent earthquakes also. So earthquake is not simply caused because of deforestation or explosive or civil activities, etc. But volcanic activities may result in earthquake. So this question we have already seen, right? Natural hazards are where there is a chance of harm to people. That means it might happen. That is a natural hazard. And disaster is something that happens, and it causes widespread destruction and disturbance to social system, etc. So those are the definitions of natural hazard and disaster. So which of the following activities is covered by disaster management before, during, and after the disaster? Again, standard, if you look at the definitions of disaster management, etc., you will find all these things. So first thing you have to try to do is mitigation. That means even before the disaster happens, you have to try and mitigate it, try to reduce, try to see that such a thing never doesn't happen. So like not allowing over construction or overpopulation in hilly areas, okay, unplanned constructions, etc. Or taking what is say while building the buildings itself, you do earthquake proofing. Okay, in Japan and all these days, earthquake proof technology has come. They will build the construction. I mean, the construction is done in such a way that even when earthquake comes, it can handle. Okay, so once you mitigate, but even after that, when earthquake or something happens, then immediately you provide emergency response. Okay, you have national disaster management. Uh, what is that? NDMC, National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA. So this is very important. National Disaster Management Authority and also State Disaster Management Authority. These two are very important. So they will give emergency response. And after that, once the disaster is over, then we have to look at reconstruction and rehabilitation. So all those are part of disaster management before, during, and after disaster. So which of the following statement is or correct? Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services works under Ministry of Environment at Hyderabad in COIS. And we've seen already this one. Indian Tsunami Early Warning System is in Hyderabad, right? Indian Tsunami Early Warning System is in Hyderabad, and we'll see where is INCOIS located. INCOIS located. So Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services is in Hyderabad also. Let us see headquarters. Yes. So it is Hyderabad only. Remember that INCOIS, Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services is in Hyderabad, Telangana, and we've seen NIOT is in Chennai and also in Nellore. So Indian National Center for Ocean Information Technologies works under Ministry of Environment. Let us see under which ministry. Ministry is under the Ministry of Earth Sciences. So remember that. Okay, it works under the Ministry of Earth Sciences, not Environment. So that's why this statement is wrong. It is at Hyderabad only, but it is not Ministry of Environment. It is Ministry of Earth Sciences. So tsunami early warning system is established by INCOIS in Hyderabad itself, that we have seen. So hazards and disasters are mostly called as man-made and natural. Okay, natural and human are also man-made. So natural disasters are earthquakes, volcanic activities, tsunami, etc. Man-made is we can see biological disasters like COVID or due to construction of dams, okay, etc. That is called man-made. Due to some construction activity also, sometimes you have minor earthquakes. The primary result of also there is one dam called Three Gorges Dam in China, okay, which is in the news sometimes. Three Gorges Dam on the Yangtze River in China, okay. Because of this Three Gorges Dam is the world's largest hydroelectric facility. It has been identified that actually the rotation of the Earth has been slowed down, okay. Because of the Three Gorges Dam, there was a report which said that the dam is so huge, and because of that, the rotation of the Earth has also slowed down. Something like that. Sometime back they were saying. Anyway, remember that Three Gorges Dam is the world's largest hydroelectric facility, and it is in Yangtze River. So the primary result of earthquake, building and bridge collapse with okay fine, rupture of water and gas pipelines, which is also true, change in course of river and creation of new islands. Okay, all this can happen because of earthquakes, right? So remember that first two things we can say easily. Remember the third one also. It can change the course of river and it can create new islands also. Fine. What are the major consequences of tropical cyclones? Okay, fierce wind, very true. Heavy rain, yes, and storm surges, all that common knowledge. So, what are the important measures to be taken? Community level disaster preparedness. Obviously, increased awareness. Okay, provision for early and timely warning. We have seen tsunami warning systems in Hyderabad, etc. Land use planning, proper planning, avoiding heavy constructions in slope areas of the hill stations or where there is loose soil. Okay, also many people do what they do is they fill the riverbeds or drainage systems with sand and then they do construction, etc. Because real estate is costly. So all those things, proper land use planning also will be able to help. So which area in the world witnesses highest seismic earthquake activity? So I told you right in the Pacific Ocean, you have the Pacific Ring of Fire. This is that. In the Pacific Belt, Circum-Pacific Belt, you have the Pacific Ring of Fire, which is prone to highest volcanic and earthquake activity. So shallow earthquakes less than 20 kilometers deep are associated with all these things, convergent plate boundaries. So we know that the Earth's crust is made up of different plates. Okay, convergent is when two plates come together. Divergent is when they are pulled apart. Okay, transform is when they are pulled in a horizontal direction. Okay, so plate tectonics, all that we have seen. So shallow earthquakes are because of all these things. So which of the following is false? So all other are true. Earthquakes occur in plate boundaries. Obviously, when two plates collide or move away from each other, earthquakes occur. So time and location of earthquakes cannot be predicted several days. Okay, using a seismograph, we can predict it only I mean before few minutes or something, not several days. So earthquakes can be caused by normal reverse and strike slip faulting. So that is also fine. Faulting is where there is a crack and a movement between two plates. So P waves travel faster than both S waves and surface waves. So that is also okay. S waves are surface waves, if I'm not wrong. Let us quickly see P waves and S waves. So P waves can travel through liquid and solid and gases, while S waves travel through solids only. Okay, and because of that only we can find out the structure of the Earth. When you send these waves in the air, because of their deflection, that is how you are able to say that the interior core is solid and then the liquid mantle, all those things we are able to say. Anyway, remember this, P waves can travel through everything, liquid, solid, gases, while S waves can travel only through solids. Okay, so that is it. Tropical cyclones. Tropical cyclones originate within, we have seen 30 degrees north to 30 degrees south, that is intermediate between Tropic of Capricorn and Cancer. So that is where 23 and half Tropic of in the northern hemisphere, 23 and half is Tropic of Cancer, and in the south it is Tropic of Capricorn, right? All that is very important. We have seen in the beginning chapters, right? Tropic of also which all countries, okay, which all countries pass through the Tropic of Cancer. So Tropic of Cancer is in the northern hemisphere, 23 and half. Okay, 23 and half degrees north of the equator is Tropic of Cancer, and Tropic of Capricorn is 23 and half degrees south. Also, you have to look at Tropic of Cancer passes through which countries. That is very important. Cancer means in the upper hemisphere, it passes through Algeria, Niger, Libya, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Oman, India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, China, Taiwan, Mexico, Bahamas, Mauritania, Mali. Okay, all those things you have to remember. And also Tropic of Cancer, okay, Equator, and in India, Tropic of Cancer passes through Rajasthan, Gujarat, okay, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and in northeast Mizoram, Meghalaya, etc. All those things you have to make a list and remember. It's very important. So structural and non-structural measures are elements of high category of risk reduction measures. Okay, structural and non-structural measures are elements of high category of risk reduction measure, physical measures. Okay, the question is not very clear, but fine. Let us move on. The steps need to be taken for any risk, natural or man-made disaster. Okay, proper construction of buildings, well planning, okay, awareness among stakeholders, which with common sense also we can say is true. So disaster management is aimed at, okay, restoring the community services, facilities and residences to pre-disaster levels. So this is what about what is after mitigation, emergency response and rehabilitation and reconstruction. So this is the main aim. All others are also fine, but the main aim is to restore the to pre-disaster levels. So the first phase of environmental health management begins long before a disaster strikes. Okay. So we've already seen mitigation is more important. So the first phase of environmental health management begins long before a disaster strikes. And essential to the sanitary maintenance of latrines. This health education program in latrine usage. Okay. I don't know where they got the question from. Okay, anything? Yeah, try to remember. Okay. Besides, okay, let's find. So besides testing the quality of the food itself, inspections should be made to determine the cleanliness. Okay, all the above. Premises where food is handled and prepared, washing facilities, food storage facilities, etc. So all these with common sense we can say. Okay, again, role of NGO, we can say with common knowledge itself, public awareness, education, vulnerability risk assessment, etc. Farming and training, DNTs, introducing alternative technologies, okay, etc. Farming and training, DNTs. Let us see what is DNT full form. Okay, DNT full form. Um, Disaster management. Did not for normal disaster management. Um, Denotified tribes. Okay, what is that particular sense? Denotified communities. Okay, fine. Anyway, try to remember that farming and training, DNTs, introducing alternative technologies, whatever. Fine. So the Northeast India is seismically one of the six most active regions of the world, along with the other five zones of. So remember all these things. So Japan, we see frequently in news, right? There is some nuclear disaster or what is that? Japan nuclear disaster is very famous. I think Fujiyama or Fukuyama, something. Japan nuclear disaster. Fukushima. Okay. So Fukushima in Japan. And when did that happen? That is one of the frequently accident in 2011. Okay. So that is also Chernobyl in Ukraine and Fukushima nuclear disaster are two frequent things which people talk about disaster management from the point of view of nuclear disaster. So this is in 2011 Fukushima. Okay, remember all these things. Mexico, Taiwan, California, Japan, Turkey, and Northeast India. Those are six most active regions of the world, seismically active, means prone to earthquakes. A pneumonic plague which occurred in Surat in Gujarat. So plague is a epidemic disease. Keep that in mind. Okay, pandemic, epidemic. Let us see what is the difference. Pandemic is, I think, scale is very high. Okay, epidemic is in the local area. Let us see difference between pandemic and epidemic. So epidemic is a disease outbreak that is rapidly spreading in a limited region. That is an epidemic. When it is spread to multiple regions across the globe, as in case of COVID, that is called pandemic. So this is only in Gujarat in 1994. So that is a epidemic. Also, Gujarat Bhuj earthquake is also 2002, I think. Bhuj earthquake in Gujarat is also one of the 2001. Okay, Kutch district of Gujarat 2001. That is also prominently given example of disaster management. Okay, and also great famine in let us see, famine of Bengal. Yeah, 1943. The Bengal famine of 1943 was also one of the worst disaster in 20th century. Okay, it is before independence. 1943 Bengal famine. So all these are important dates to be remembered from disaster management point of view. So tropical cyclone, drought, wildfire, they are all meteorological hazards. Okay, industrial hazard, man-induced. Industrial hazard is when there is a leakage of chemical or blast in the industry. Okay, man-induced. Let us see examples of all these things. Examples of man-induced hazard. Airline disaster. Okay, biological agents, war, water, sewer, etc. Disruptions, hazardous materials, transportation, etc. etc. That is man-made. Meteorological is cyclones, droughts, wildfires. Hydrological. Let us see examples of Hydrological. Tsunamis, okay, tornadoes. Let us see. Example of hydrological hazard. Landslides, okay, rivers for floods, okay, droughts, etc. All those things. Flooding, droughts, etc. Okay. That is hydrological. Cyclones, drought, okay, wildfire, etc. are also meteorological. Keep that in mind. Let's check for meteorological also. Thunderstorm, flood, tornado, hurricane, okay, drought, wildfire, landslide, earthquakes, tsunami, volcano, dam failure. So, okay, all these things try to remember. They're all meteorological hazards. So, engineering disaster is simply referred to those disasters when it is caused by a engineering failure, like, okay, obviously, design flaws or material failures, insufficient knowledge or underestimation. Suppose you are building and you have to calculate for what kind of stresses it will take. Okay, structural engineering, design, everything. Okay, and carelessness or negligence. That is one reason. So disasters can be categorized into various types on the basis of, okay, disaster, mostly loss of human life. Okay, disasters are basically based on how much human life is lost, how much property is lost, etc., etc. All those things. So 1977, cyclone which had been operated with Tamil Nadu instead struck the central coast and diverted several villages of Andhra Pradesh. 1977 cyclone. So let us see. 1977 cyclone. So 1977 Andhra Pradesh cyclone is also important. Okay, remember that 1977. Okay, cyclone. It was supposed to hit Tamil Nadu, but it hit Andhra Pradesh. So for us, it is more important. Keep that in mind. So UN disaster management team, okay, UNDMT is responsible for solving problems resulting from disasters in India, Iran, Bangladesh, all countries of the world. Obviously, when it is United Nations, it is all countries of the world. If you are talking about NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, then maybe India. Okay. So Mount Krakatoa is also in Indonesia is quite prominent, which a violent explosion of the famous volcano Mount in Krakatoa in Indonesia produced tsunamis measuring 40 feet, 1883. Recently also, I think Mount Krakatoa was in news or recently in the Sunda Strait. It was in news. Let us see Sunda Strait tsunami or volcano 2018. Okay, it's in Indonesia because of volcanic activity. I think that was caused because of Krakatoa, Mount Krakatoa only. It is in Indonesia. So remember that where is Sunda Strait? Sunda Strait is near Indonesia. So a certificate course in disaster management is offered by IGNOU. Okay, Indira Gandhi National Open University. So for today, let us start with 40th question. Which is the nodal agency at the Indian Union government for coordinating disaster management activities of all natural hazards? So Home Affairs. So Home Ministry usually looks after all these disasters, hazards, etc. The National Disaster Management Authority, all those things. Fine. Then we have seen something about Ministry of Earth Sciences also, right? Anyone remembers what is that? Ministry of Earth Sciences. Sometime back we have seen, right? Um, National, what do you call, tsunami warning inquest. Yeah, inquest. Okay, inquest by under which ministry? Ministry of Earth Sciences. Okay, remember that. Ministry of Earth Sciences, Indian National Center for Ocean Information Center. Okay, so try to remember all these things. We'll stop for now.